Our first item of old business is Ordinance 23-07.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of ordinance number 2307 to amend the future land use map within Sussex County's comprehensive development plan based on the record made during the public hearing for the following reasons. 1, this is an application to amend the future land use map of the comprehensive plan in relation to 5 tax map parcels containing approximately 637 acres of land with road frontage on Route 9, Cool Spring Road, Log Cabin Hill Road, Josephs Road, and Hudson Road. The properties affected by this request are Sussex County map and parcel numbers 235-27.00, -11.00, 12.00, 13.00, 14.00, and 334-4.00, -34.00. 2, the subject land is currently designated as low-density area on the future land use map. This application requests that the designation be amended to the coastal area. 3, the area near the subject property contains numerous residential developments and the Route 9 commercial corridor. To the west of the land are the residential developments of Lazy Lake, Shoreview Woods, Hunter Mill Estates, the trails of Beaver Creek, and meadows of Beaver Creek. To the north are the communities of Oak Ridge Acres, Compass Point, Sweetbriar, and the villages of Red Mill Pond on Sweetbriar Road, and Vincent's Overlook Shores, and other residential developments on Cave Neck Road. In addition, the Sussex Consortium School, serving special needs students from all over Sussex County, is located on the south side of Sweetbriar Road. To the east of the land is adjacent to the Tall Pines Campground Resort. To the south, the land borders Route 9, the Lewis Georgetown Bike Trail, and is adjacent to an 18-acre parcel on the northeast corner of Route 9 and Hudson Road, zoned I-1 institutional, which is the site of Bay Health Emergency and Urgent Care Center. On the south side of Route 9, there is a commercial corridor of land zoned C1, C2, and CR1 with a variety of businesses, commercial, retail, medical, and office uses. West of Fisher Road on Route 9 is a Cool Springs storage facility and an 11-acre parcel zoned C2 that is proposed to be developed as a 75,000 square foot retail and office complex. On the opposite side of Route 9 is the Stephen Hudson Park, being developed by the Sussex County Land Trust as a park with a connection to the Lewis Georgetown Bike Trail. Along Fisher Road are the Cool Spring Farm, Cool Spring Manor, and recently approved Monarch Glen residential developments. All of these nearby uses indicate that this area of Sussex County is more appropriately designated as being within the coastal area, a growth area, than the current low-density area designation. These circumstances also satisfy Objective 4.4.1 of the comprehensive plan in that the amendment ensures that new development complements the character of the existing surrounding communities. 4, the subject property's main road footage is on Route 9. Route 9 is a major Sussex County road defined as in sections 95-5 and 115-4B of the Sussex County Code as the only east-west major arterial roadway in eastern Sussex County. 5, this property is serviced by public transportation via year-round Delaware Transit Corporation, known as DART, bus route from Georgetown to the Lewis Park and ride that connects to the entire DART bus network. This connection into the greater Sussex County public transportation system justifies the map amendment to the coastal area. 6, the subject property is served with central public sewer and central public sewer and central public water by Artesian Wastewater Management Incorporated. 7, the subject property is adjacent to the location of conditional use granted to Artesian Water Company, Inc. for a 1 million gallon, 150 tall water tower. The water tower has been constructed and is located on the east side of Cool Springs Road. The subject property surrounds this water facility. 8, the subject property is adjacent to the Bay Health Emergency and Urgent Care Center located at the intersection of Route 9 and Hudson Road. The Bay Health facility is designated to serve the greater Milton region, providing a freestanding hybrid emergency and urgent care center. The center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The existence of this medical facility at this location is consistent with the coastal area designation and the types of uses permitted in that area. 9, the subject property is within an area of opportunity as designated by the Delaware State Housing Authority. An area of opportunity is a strong, high-valued market with close job proximity and economic opportunity, high-performing schools, amenities, and supportive infrastructure that help households succeed. DSHA noted that the need for affordable housing, particularly in the coastal resort area, is acute and well documented. This need for affordable housing is supported in this location under these circumstances by the future land use map amendment to the coastal area. On the other hand, such an area of opportunity is inconsistent with the current low-density area designation, and this change to the future land use map promotes Goal 8.2 of the Comprehensive Plan by ensuring that a diversity of housing opportunities are available to meet the needs of residents of different ages, income levels, abilities, national origins, and household configurations. 10. The northeast portion of the land has an extensive continuous boundary with land designated as being in the coastal area, and the most of the land to the east is in the coastal area. This map amendment is consistent with the coastal area designation of these adjacent and nearby properties. 11. The land is currently zoned AR1. With the current low-density designation, a cluster subdivision with a density of 2 lots per acre could be developed as permitted under Section 115-25 of the Zoning Code and Chapter 4 of the County Comprehensive Plan. A cluster subdivision development of this property could currently result in 1,260 single-family residential lots. The amendment to the coastal area designation would allow this property to be more appropriately developed as a master planned mixed-use development that provides a variety of housing types and uses. This is also in furtherance of strategy 4.4.1.5 of the plan because it encourages master planning for large-scale development of large parcels. 12. The coastal area is a growth area according to the comprehensive plan. This proposed map amendment satisfies the criteria set forth in Section 4.4.2.1 of the Comprehensive Plan for a growth area, since A, the properties are in proximity to areas where significant commerce and employment exist. B, the properties will be served by central water and sewer. C, the properties are adjacent to the Route 9 corridor, which is the only major arterial roadway running from east to west in eastern Sussex County. D, the map change will enable development that is in character with what exists or may occur in the area, including adjacent coastal area. And E, the map change will not adversely impact any major preserved lands. 13, while the Office of State Planning Coordination has stated its objections to this proposed amendment, the county is, in its comprehensive plan, is signaling that selected new growth areas may be needed to accommodate future development in places that the state does not currently view as growth centers according to its Delaware strategies for the state policies and spending document. Given all of these circumstances that exist with respect to these properties and particularly the location along Route 9, this is an appropriate location for the state to recognize that the coastal area designation is appropriate. 14, by the terms of Delaware strategies for state policies and spending document, all land use authority remains vested with Sussex County. This is reiterated within the current Sussex County Comprehensive Plan. While the county certainly takes into account the state's recommendations with regard to a map amendment, the circumstances that have been presented with this application justify this amendment to the map. 15, this revision of the future land use map is appropriate given particular circumstances involved at this location. When several factors like these exist, the consideration and approval of an amendment to the future land use map is appropriate. And 16, for all of these reasons stated, it is the recommendation of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission that the future land use map designation of the land, tax map parcels number 235-27.00, -11.00, 12.00, 13.00, 14.0, and 334-4.00, -34.00 be amended from low density area to coastal area.
It's been moved and seconded to recommend approval of ordinance 23-07 for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion. Mr. Collins, how do you vote?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, Ms. Wingate?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Mr. Mears?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
The chair votes yes for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion. The motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Our next item is change of zone number 2010 CMF Cool Spring LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of change of zone number 2010 for CMF Cool Spring LLC for a change in zone from the AR1 Agricultural Residential District to an MR RPC Medium Density Residential Plan Community District based on the record made during the public hearing for the following reasons. 1, this is an application to rezone a nearly 637-acre site of land along Route 9, Log Cabin Hill Road, Cool Spring Road, and Hudson Road in eastern Sussex County to an MRRPC. The purpose of an RPC is to encourage large-scale developments as a means of creating a superior living environment through unified developments and to provide for the application of design ingenuity while protecting existing and future developments and achieving the goals of the comprehensive plan. This purpose is satisfied with this application. 2, this application also includes a change in zone from AR1 to MR. The purpose of the MR zone is to provide housing in an area which is expected to become urban in character and where central water and sewer is available. The stated purpose of the MR district is satisfied for this site. Both central water and sewer are available. It is also in an area that is continuing to develop with a more urban character, including nearby large and small businesses, commercial, retail, and office uses. It is adjacent to the Bay Health Medical and Surgical Center that provides health care and surgical services to all of eastern Sussex County. It is adjacent to Artesian Water Company's 1 million-gallon water tower. It is also located along one of DART's bus routes. This rezoning is consistent with the zoning and land uses in the area. 3, Route 9 is classified by DelDOT and County Code as a major arterial roadway. The development complies with the updated memorandum of understanding between Sussex County and DelDOT addressing the traffic impacts of a rezoning application. In compliance with the MOU, Century Engineering was retained to perform a traffic impact study, or TIS, to determine the impact of the development under the scope and parameters established by DelDOT. The TIS reviewed the impact of all proposed development and access points and at approximately 48 intersections in the area surrounding the development. The TIS dated June 30th, 2022 was reviewed by DelDOT, and DelDOT issued its TIS review letter on January 10th, 2023. After the TIS review letter was issued, the applicant made changes to the RPC plan to reduce the number of proposed dwellings and to reduce the number of access points on area roads from 10 to 6. These changes reduce the daily and PM peak hours These changes reduce the daily PM peak hour trips associated with the RPC. DelDOT then required an updated review of the TIS based on these changes and required a supplemental sensitivity analysis to identify when recommended road improvements should be implemented. A final revised TIS review letter was issued by DelDOT on January 14, 2025. The revised review letter requires the applicant to be responsible for 22 specific roadway and intersection improvements and contributing to existing DelDOT projects that are identified in detail on pages 17 through 24 of the revised TIS review letter. The applicant will be responsible for the improvements and contributions as determined by DelDOT in accordance with the Sussex County DelDOT MOU, as well as the timing of their construction. Recognizing that the build-out of this MRRPC will occur over a 10 to 25-year period, the timing of construction of these improvements will be identified as part of the MRRPC's master plan as a condition of approval. 4, while the site is currently designated low density on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan, the applicant is simultaneously requesting a future land use map amendment to the coastal area designation. The Planning and Zoning Commission is recommending approval of this amendment. 5, with the amendment of the comprehensive plan's future land use map, the comprehensive plan states the MR zoning is appropriate in the coastal area and that a higher density of 4 to 12 units per acre can occur. The plan also states that a range of housing types should be permitted, including single-family homes, townhomes, and multifamily units. Appropriate mixed-use development should also be allowed. In doing so, careful mixtures of homes with light commercial, office, and institutional uses can be appropriate to provide for convenient services and to allow people to work close to home. This project satisfies this objective. 6, for the reasons set forth in this recommendation, the applicant has satisfactorily addressed the criteria set forth in 99-9C of the Sussex County Subdivision Code. Additionally, the applicant has addressed possible archaeological and historical impacts of the project through an archaeological assessment report with comments supplied by the State's Historic Preservation Office. This includes the preservation of a small cemetery on the site. The applicant has also provided a report prepared by SAGE Policy Group regarding the impact of this development on the local school district and including economic benefits through increased tax revenue to the school district as a result of the MRRPC. 7, although Sussex County has not yet adopted a master plan ordinance, master planning is a longstanding goal of the county. A development of this size and scope includes residential villages with single-family and multifamily housing options, an affordable village of 700 multifamily dwellings of various types with 175 units participating in the Sussex County rental program, providing workforce housing units, a town center containing retail, service, educational, recreational uses, and assisted living facility with a medical office building. County staff has confirmed that the plan includes 18.52 acres of commercial uses, which is within the maximum acreage of commercial uses of convenience and necessity to the development as a whole in accordance with 115-119B of the Sussex County Zoning Code. This variety of uses essentially creates a master plan community. The single large interconnected MRRPC development with an integrated design is preferable to multiple unrelated single-family subdivisions. 8, the Sussex County Comprehensive Plan states that master planning should be encouraged for a large-scale development on large parcels or groups of parcels with a higher density and mixed-use developments to provide flexibility in site design. The 2020 Delaware Strategies for State Policy and Spending also advocates development of complete communities that typically include an integrated pedestrian and bike network, new streets interconnected with existing streets, intermingling of residential and commercial uses, and the inclusion of parks or open space networks within the developments. 9, the development is consistent with the goals set forth of Chapter 8 of the Comprehensive Plan regarding housing. The following examples are goals, objectives, and strategies within Chapter 8 of the plan that are addressed by this development. A, Goal 8.2, ensure that a diversity of housing opportunities are available to meet the needs of residents of different ages, income levels, abilities, national origins, and household configurations. B, Objective 8.2.1, affirmatively further affordable and fair housing opportunities in the county to better accommodate the housing needs of all residents. C, Strategy 8.2.1.3, explore ways for private developers to provide more multifamily and affordable housing opportunities. D, Objective 8.2.3, facilitate and promote land use policies that enable and increase in supply of affordable housing in areas with adequate infrastructure. E, Strategy 8.2.3.1, promote increasing affordable housing options, including the supply of rental units near employment opportunities. This project is consistent with these goals. It is intended to provide affordable housing opportunities in an area where the use is consistent with the existing and planned infrastructure, and it is located near numerous employment opportunities with access to many more employment opportunities given its location on an established DART route. 10, the MRRPC includes site plan review with a rezoning process. The applicant has provided a master plan mixed-use site plan with a variety of housing types and commercial uses. Because of this variety, the site plan's design is superior to an exclusively residential or exclusively commercial development. For example, county staff has noted that the design includes the provision of middle housing units at various locations through the plan's villages and with walkable connections to day-to-day services and open space. The MRRPC design is substantially better than one more cluster subdivision adding to Sussex County's sprawl, something the county is currently working to reduce. In this case, such a cluster subdivision could include 1,200 homes on 7,500 square foot lots. Instead, the mixed-use design will allow residents to use and enjoy a variety of retail, educational, restaurant, food services, and other varied uses near their homes without having to travel outside of the community. This benefits the residents of the community and county residents by reducing the need to travel on area roadways for these uses. 11, the use will be served by central water and sewer by a publicly regulated utility company. 12, even though this project is adjacent to a Bay Health medical facility, Dr. David Tam, the president and CEO of BB Health Care, testified in support of the project. Dr. Tam testified that this type of development and housing is needed in eastern Sussex County to recruit and maintain appropriate staffing levels within area healthcare services. Terry Murphy, the president and CEO of Bay Health, also provided a letter supporting this application, stating that workforce housing in this area of Sussex County is critical as we recruit the clinical and support team members providing services at our Route 9 campus. I feel that this application will have the needed impact to ensure that expansion of healthcare services and workforce housing to this population. Without more affordable and varied housing options like what is proposed for this project, it is difficult to recruit support staff and physicians for the entire area healthcare system, whether BB or Bay Health or others. 13, the multifamily residential portion of this development will provide an affordable renting housing option for current and future Sussex County residents. The high price of homes and rentals in much of eastern Sussex County makes housing unaffordable for a lot of workforce in this area. People cannot afford to live where they work. The applicant will provide 175 units that will be included in and administered under the Sussex County Rental Unit Program governed by Chapter 72 of the Sussex County Code. 14, Sussex County Council declared in Chapter 72, Section 18 of the County Code that it is the public policy of the county to A, encourage the creation of a full range of housing choices conveniently located in suitable living environments for all incomes, ages, and family and sizes. B, encourage the production of affordable rental units to meet the existing and anticipated future employment needs in the county. C, assure that affordable rental units are dispersed throughout the county consistent with a comprehensive plan. D, encourage developments in growth areas as defined within the county's comprehensive plan and areas of opportunity as defined by DSHA to include a minimum percentage of affordable rental units on public water and sewer systems. This application with a mixed-use site plan addresses each of these stated goals. 15, the future land use element of the comprehensive plan states that Sussex County should expand affordable housing opportunities, particularly in areas near job centers and the Delaware State Housing Authority's areas of opportunity. DSHA has indicated that this project is in an area of opportunity where diverse housing types should be supported. This means that the area has high-quality schools, supportive infrastructure, and the capacity to support diverse and affordable housing types. DSHA noted that the need for affordable housing in the coastal resort area of Sussex County is acute and well documented. This was affirmed by a letter from the Housing Alliance of Delaware stating that there is an acute need for affordable housing options near the eastern coast of Sussex County and supporting this project. The Alliance noted that this project a step towards addressing the pressing housing needs in our community while also promoting a vibrant, inclusive environment. 16, the site is located along a bus transit route operated year-round by DART from Georgetown to the Lewis Park and Ride. Connections to the entire DART bus network are included. 17, there are resources on the site as defined by the Sussex County Zoning Code. The developer has supplied a drainage assessment report and an environmental assessment and public facilities evaluation report in support of the application. In addition, the site plan complies with the requirements for resources and resource buffers set forth in the zoning code, and the design meets or exceeds the design standards for protecting these resources. 18, surface and groundwater pollution will be prevented through the design and construction of the development and its stormwater management facilities using an erosion and sediment control plan in accordance with the requirement of under the jurisdiction of Sussex County Conservation District and DENREC. Conversion of the property from agricultural use to the proposed development will decrease the nitrogen and phosphorus loading on the property. 19, the property currently contains approximately 217 acres of woodlands. Approximately 114 acres, or 53% of the existing woodlands, will be preserved within approximately 295 acres of open space that will exist throughout the site. The majority of the woodlands being removed are in areas that have been timbered in the past and contains tree species typical of prior timbered land. The majority of the woodlands being preserved are mature woodlands and will be preserved and protected as part of a conservation area. 20, the eastern boundary of the site contains a single perennial stream, Martin Branch, and associated non-tidal wetlands containing 29.6 acres. The stream and non-tidal wetlands will be preserved and protected as part of a conservation area. 21, the buffers required by Sussex County Resource Buffer Ordinance as to Martin Branch and the adjacent non-tidal wetlands will provide a resource buffer of 45 feet in width containing 13.73 acres of forested land. Adjacent to the resource buffers, the applicant is creating an additional preservation and conservation area containing 61.61 acres of forested land with the exception of a 2.6-acre open field area that will be maintained as a natural meadow. This additional conservation area substantially increases the width of the wetland buffer to an average of 130 feet. The required 30-foot resource buffer would contain 9.24 acres. The actual buffer provided within the proposed design expands the total buffer area to 75.34 acres, over 8 times the area of the required resource buffer. 22. All of the area comprising Martin Branch, the adjacent non-tidal wetlands, the expanded resource buffer, and the voluntary conservation area, totaling approximately 104.93 acres, or over 16% of the site, will be subject to a declaration of restrictions permanently preserving it as a conservation area and a buffer management plan providing for the management and stewardship of the area. 23, with conditions imposed including the affordable housing units administered under the county's SCRP program, this mixed-use master plan project meets the purpose of the zoning code and comprehensive plan in that it promotes the orderly growth, convenience, order, prosperity, and welfare of the county and its residents. 24, this recommendation is subject to the following conditions. A, there shall be no more than 1,922 residential units within the MR-RPC comprised of 534 single-family homes on individual lots and 1,388 multifamily units. The units shall be phased in pursuant to a phasing plan submitted as part of the final site plan review. 175 of the Village A units shall be subject to the Sussex County SCRP program administered under Chapter 72 of the Sussex County Code. Village A shall be constructed as part of the first phase of the residential development of this project. B, the MR-RPC master plan shall provide a tabular breakdown of all types of residential units and commercial floor areas within it. This tabular breakdown shall also identify the number of SCRP and Workforce Housing Accelerator Fund units to be included in the project and identify the distribution and location of these units throughout the project. Given the size and complexity of this RPC, any future request to revise its site plan shall be accompanied by a revised master site plan showing the requested updates at the tabular breakdown, including a table summarizing the date and nature of each revision. C, the RPC Town Center commercial uses shall conform to the uses shown on the preliminary site plan, and the land dedicated to these commercial uses shall not exceed 19.22 acres. The applicant proffered that the YMCA will have a location within the town center. Under a separate conditional use, there is an educational facility within the RPC as well. Both of these facilities shall be constructed within the first phase of the town center. D, all intersections, roadways, and multimodal improvements required by DelDOT shall be completed by the applicant in accordance with the final revised TIS review letter dated January 14, 2025, along with any additional requirements that DelDOT may impose. There shall be interconnectivity provided to the Bay Health property adjacent to the town center, with signage on the site indicating that pedestrian and vehicular interconnectivity will occur at this location. The design and location of this signage shall be shown on the final site plan, and the signage shall be installed when site work first begins within the MR-RPC. This interconnectivity shall be fully constructed and open for use by residents prior to the issuance of the first certificate of occupancy for the first commercial unit within the town center. E, as stated by the applicant, there will be a clubhouse with a minimum 7,500 square feet of floor area, including a refreshment area, fitness center, space for group fitness, exercise, a children's play area, meeting and gathering rooms, casual areas, staff offices, restrooms, and storage. Adjacent to the clubhouse, there should be an outdoor resort-style swimming pool, hot tub area, and a separate children's pool and splash area. All of these pool areas shall be surrounded by an expansive deck with shaded and unshaded areas. The amenities shall also include tennis, pickleball courts, bocce courts, and a green space picnic area with fire pits, grills, seating, and open space for special events and entertainment. The MR-RPC master plan shall include a description of the types and frequency of special events and entertainment that will occur in this area and identify the specific area utilized as part of these events. There will be 4 additional outdoor pools with bathhouses located in Village B, D, and G, and between Villages E and F. The site will also include larger village parks, smaller neighborhood parks, and recreational features to be determined at the time of the site plan approval for each phase of the RPC. All amenities shall be constructed and open for use in accordance with the 115-194.5 of the zoning code. F, the development shall be connected to Artesian Water Company's sanitary sewer system. G, the development shall be served by a central water system providing adequate drinking water and fire protection as required by applicable regulations. H, stormwater management and erosion and sedimentation control shall be constructed in accordance with the applicable state and county requirements. The project shall utilize best management practices to construct and maintain these fixtures. The master plan and each of the site plan for each of these phases of the RPC shall contain the approval of Sussex Conservation District. I, the internal main roads that intersect with Hudson Road, Log Cabin Road, and Route 9 being the main roads and being the main roads that separate and serve various villages within the RPC, shall be constructed to DelDOT specifications and dedicated to DelDOT. For the remainder of the internal roadways, the street design shall comply with or exceed Sussex County standards. There shall be sidewalks on both sides of the streets with interconnection between the sidewalks and DelDOT mandated the roads to be dedicated to DelDOT in accordance with this condition shall be identified as such on the master plan for the MRRPC. J, road naming and addressing shall be subject to the review and approval of the Sussex County Geographical Information Office. K, the applicant shall consult with the local school district's transportation manager to determine school bus stop locations. The location of these bus stops shall be shown on the master site plan. L, as shown on the preliminary site plan, resource buffers required by Sussex County Code Section 115-193 shall be created to include water, wetlands, their associated resource buffers, and the additional areas shown on the preliminary site plan, all of which shall be permanently protected, delineated, and described on the RPC's master site plan and within a recorded declaration of covenants and buffer management plan for the community. This area shall be protected as part of a dedicated conservation area with the location and details of this conservation area shown on the RPC's master plan. M, there should be a vegetated or forested buffer that is at least 30 feet wide installed along the perimeter of the MRRPC in accordance with sections 99-5 and 115-25 of the Sussex County Code. This buffer shall utilize existing forest or similar vegetation that exists within. Where trees currently exist in the buffer area, stump removal or construction activities that disturb the existing grade of the area within the buffer shall be prohibited. All silt fencing shall be located along the interior limit of the buffer area, the edge of the buffer nearest the interior development, and the final site plan shall identify the limit of disturbance to prevent disturbance of the buffer area. Signage identifying this buffer area as non-disturbance area shall be installed along the buffer at 300-foot intervals. This buffer area shall expand to a width of 50 feet in areas along other land used for agricultural purposes as shown on the preliminary site plan. These buffer areas shall be completed within each phase prior to the issuance of any certificates of occupancy for homes within that phase. N, construction, site work, and delivery shall only occur on the site between the hours of 7 a.m. through 6 p.m. Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday. No Sunday hours are permitted. A 24-inch by 36-inch notice sign confirming these hours in English and Spanish shall be prominently displayed at the site entrances during construction. O, approximately 114 acres of existing 217 acres of woodlands shall be preserved. The RPC's master site plan shall include a landscape plan for the development showing the proposed tree and shrub landscape design, including the buffer areas and woodlands that must be preserved. P, all lighting on the site shall be shielded in downward screens so that it does not shine on neighboring properties or roadways. Q, as proffered by the applicant, each residential unit shall be obligated to make an annual payment of $50 to the Milton Volunteer Fire Company and $50 to the Lewis Fire Company, beginning with the issuance of a residential certificate of occupancy for each residential unit in the RPC. These fees shall be collected and paid by the applicable homeowners or condominium association within the RPC. As also proffered by the applicant, there shall also be an annual contribution in the total amount of $58,000 to these two fire companies in correlation with the construction of the commercial space within the town center. These contributions requirements shall be set forth on the MRRPC's master plan. A copy of this ordinance shall also be provided to the two fire companies as a condition of the master site plan approval. However, if the state or county enacts a separate law governing the mandatory payment or contribution to fire EMS service applicable to the residential units or town center, then this condition shall no longer apply. R, the Cape Henlopen School District has commented that its schools are at capacity and that new development should contribute to the district's need to expand its facilities to accommodate the additional students that will enroll as a result of this development. Therefore, Sussex County Council should consider establishing a contribution to the Cape Henlopen School District to be paid by the developer to the district upon completion of each residential unit within the development. S, there will be many entrances, off-site, roadway, and intersection improvements constructed to provide safe vehicular and pedestrian access to the development and within area roadways. Given the location and size of the development, the applicant shall coordinate with DelDOT and provide a phasing schedule that shall establish the time frame and phasing of the construction of the commercial buildings, mixed-use buildings, and residential buildings, and the construction of the off-site entrance and roadway improvements that DelDOT will require as a result of the development. The phasing schedule shall be coordinated between the applicant and DelDOT, and it shall be presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission for consideration as part of the RPC's master site plan. T, the applicant shall continue to coordinate with DelDOT and other state agencies, Sussex County and Sussex County Land Trust, to establish an improved and safe pedestrian and bicycle crossing of Route 9 for the Georgetown Lewis Trail in conjunction with the interconnection of that trail to the internal roads and pathways within the RPC. The details and design of the crossing the design and crossing along with the access points from the RPC to the trail shall be provided as part of the RPC's master plan. U, the master plan and each phase's site plan within the RPC and the recorded restrictive covenants shall state that agricultural activities exist nearby and that shall include agricultural use protection notice, along with a similar notice that hunting activities may also occur on nearby properties. V, there is a cemetery located on the eastern side of Village A within the RPC. A master plan shall include an area for visitor parking with access to this cemetery area. W, each phase's site plan shall include a grading plan for the RPC. No building permit shall be issued for individual lots or residential units until an individual lot grading plan has been supplied to and approved by Sussex County. No certificate of occupancy shall be issued until a grading certificate is submitted to the Building Code Department demonstrating general conformity with the individual lot grading plan. X, the master site plan shall include a landscape plan depicting all landscaping to be provided or preserved in all of the buffers and open space areas throughout the RPC. The landscape plan shall clearly show all forested areas that will be preserved. The landscape plan shall also identify all limits of disturbance within the site. Y, a revised preliminary site plan shall either depicting or noting these conditions must be submitted to the Office of Planning and Zoning. In addition, these conditions shall be noted within the RPC's master plan and the site plan for each phase of the RPC. And Z, the master site plan shall be subject to the review and approval of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to recommend approval of change of zone number 2010 CMF Cool Spring LLC for the reasons and with the conditions stated in the motion. Mr. Collins, how do you vote?
Quick statement before I cast my vote, if you don't mind.
Please.
I would just like to say I would love for there to be a proposal in front of us to put this into land preservation, to reforest parts of it that are agricultural land, et cetera. That's not what's coming before us. It's also my personal preference. I don't get the option of just voting based on that. What this does do is preserve more land and forest, open space, than county code requires. It provides affordable workforce housing and meets many of the requirements that the county has for what it prefers to see developed. So with that, I vote yes.
All right, sir. Ms. Wingate.
I vote yes for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, Mr. Mears.
I vote yes for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, and the chair votes yes for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Our next item is conditional use number 2441 CMF Cool Spring LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of conditional use number 2441 for CMF Cool Spring LLC for a conditional use within an MRRPC medium-density residential plan community district for an educational facility based on the record made during the public hearing and for the following reasons. 1, for the reasons and with the conditions stated in its motion, the Planning and Zoning Commission has recommended approval of conditional use number 2010 to create a medium-density residential plan community district on a 637-acre site of land along Route 9, Log Cabin Road, Cool Spring Road, and Hudson Road in eastern Sussex County. That motion recognized that this is an area that is continuing to develop with nearby large and small businesses, commercial, retail, and office uses. It is adjacent to the Bay Health Medical and Surgical Center that provides health care and surgical services for all of eastern Sussex County. It is adjacent to Artesian Water Company's 1 million gallon water tower. It is also located along one of DART's bus routes that interconnects with Lewis, Milton, Georgetown, and the statewide public transportation system. The site is also located along Route 9, which is classified by DelDOT and County Code as a major arterial roadway. 2, for the reasons stated in its motion, the Planning and Zoning Commission has also recommended that the land area designation be changed from low density area to the coastal area within future land use map of the county's comprehensive plan. 3, based upon those prior recommendations and the circumstances of this location, it is appropriate to also recommend approval of an educational facility within the MRRPC. This facility will be located within the town center of the MRRPC, and it will consist of 2 buildings with classrooms and administrative offices. 1 building would be for college-level instruction, offering associate degree courses and professional certifications. The 2nd building would be used for adult learning courses. 4, these proposed educational uses are of a public or semi-public character and are essential and desirable for the general convenience and welfare of Sussex County and its existing and future residents and visitors. 5, with the conditions imposed on the MRRPC and this conditional use, these facilities will not adversely affect neighboring properties or area roadways. Since they are located within the MRRPC, they will be subject to the extensive roadway improvements and financial contributions required by DelDOT as part of its TIS review letter for the MRRPC dated January 14, 2025. 6, this recommendation is subject to the following conditions. A, this recommendation is conditioned on the approval of ordinance number 2307 to amend the future land use map within the comprehensive plan from current low-density area designation to coastal area designation for this property. It is also conditioned upon the approval of change of zone number 2010 to create the MRRPC within which this assisted living facility and medical office building would be located. B, these uses are subject to the applicable conditions of approval imposed upon change of zone number 2010, and those conditions of approval are incorporated herein by reference. C, the uses shall be limited to an educational facility providing college-level and professional certification-type courses along with adult education courses within 2 buildings. Building 1 shall not exceed 45,000 square feet in size, and Building 2 shall not exceed 30,000 square feet in size. D, all parking shall be shown on the final site plan for this conditional use. The final site plan shall also contain a tabular description of the parking spaces required for these uses as they relate to the parking calculations for the entire MRRPC that is subject to the change of zone number 2010. E, all dumpsters or trash receptacles associated with this use shall be screened from the view of neighboring properties and roadways within the MRRPC. The location of these items shall be shown on the final site plan. F, the final site plans for this conditional use shall identify the timing of its construction in relation to the phasing and construction of the overall MRRPC, including the timing and phasing of roadway improvements required for the MRRPC. This information shall align with the timing and phasing information for these improvements that is also required to be shown on the master site plan for the MRRPC as part of the approval of change in zone number 2010. And G, the final site plan shall be subject to the review and approval of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to recommend approval of conditional use number 2441 CMF Cool Spring LLC for the reasons and with stipulations stated in the motion. Mr. Collins, how do you vote?
Yes, for the reasons and stipulations included. Motion.
Okay. Ms. Wingate?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Mr. Mears?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, and the chair votes yes for the reasons and stipulations stated in the motion. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Our next item is a conditional use number 2442 CMF Cool Spring LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of conditional use number 2442 for CMF Cool Spring LLC for conditional use within an MRRPC medium-density residential planned community district for an assisted living and medical office based on the record made during the public hearing and for the following reasons. 1, for the reasons and with the conditions stated in this motion, The Planning and Zoning Commission has recommended approval of change of zone number 2010 to create a medium-density residential plan community district on a 637-acre site of land along Route 9, Log Cabin Hill Road, Cool Spring Road, and Hudson Road in eastern Sussex County. That motion recognized that this is an area that is continuing to develop with nearby large and small businesses, commercial, retail, and office uses. It is adjacent to the Bay Health Medical Center and Surgical Center that provides healthcare and surgical services for all of eastern Sussex County. It is adjacent to Artesian Water Company's 1 million-gallon water tower. It is also located along one of DART's bus routes that interconnects with Lewis, Milton, Georgetown, and the statewide public transportation system. This site is also located along Route 9, which is classified by DelDOT and County Code as a major arterial roadway. 2, for the reasons stated in the motion, the Planning and Zoning Commission has also recommended that the land area designation be changed from low density area to the coastal area within the future land use map of the county's comprehensive plan. 3, based upon those prior recommendations and the circumstances of the location, it's appropriate to also recommend approval of an assisted living and medical office building within the MRRPC. Both of these facilities will be located within the town center of the MRRPC, each within its own separate building. 4, these uses complement Bay Health Emergency and Urgent Care Center adjacent to the MRRPC. Terry Murphy, the president and CEO of Bay Health, provided a letter in support of the MRRPC, which includes these uses. Likewise, Dr. David Tam, the president and CEO of BB Healthcare, also supported the MRRPC. There is an undisputed need for more healthcare facilities throughout all of Sussex County, and these 2 facilities will help address the need by serving not only the residents of the MRRPC, but also residents throughout eastern Sussex County. 5, these proposed medical and healthcare uses are of a public or semi-public character and are essential and desirable for the general convenience and welfare of Sussex County and its existing and future residents and visitors. 6, with the conditions imposed on the MRRPC and this conditional use, these facilities will not adversely affect neighboring properties or area roadways. Since they are located within the MRRPC, they will be subject to the extensive roadway improvements and financial contributions required by DelDOT as part of its TIS review letter for the MRRPC dated January 14, 2025. 7, this recommendation is subject to the following conditions. A, this recommendation is conditioned on the approval of ordinance number 2307 to amend the future land use map within the comprehensive plan from the current low-density area designation to the coastal area designation for this property. It is also conditioned upon the approval of change of zone number 2010 to create an MRRPC within which this assisted living facility and medical office building would be located. B, these uses are subject to the applicable conditions of approval imposed upon change of zone number 2010, and those conditions of approval are incorporated herein by reference. C, the uses shall be limited to an assisted living facility and medical office building. Each use shall be located within its own building. The assisted living facility shall not exceed 71,500 square feet of floor area, and the medical office building shall not exceed 25,000 square feet of floor area. D, the assisted living facility shall not house more than 100 residents at any one time. E, all parking shall be shown on the final site plan of this conditional use. The final site plan shall also contain a tabular description of the parking spaces required for these uses as they relate to the parking calculations for the entire MRRPC that is subject to change of zone number 2010. F, all dumpsters or trash receptacles associated with this use shall be screened from the view of neighboring properties and roadways within the MRRPC. The location of these items shall be shown on the final site plan. G, the final site plan for this conditional use shall identify the timing of its construction in relation to the phasing and construction of the overall MRRPC, including the timing and phasing of the roadway improvements required for the MRRPC. This information shall align with the timing and phasing information for these improvements that is also required to be shown on the master site plan for the MRRPC as part of the approval of change of zone number 2010. And H, the final site plan shall be subject to the review and approval of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to recommend approval of conditional use number 2442 CMF Cool Spring LLC for the reasons and with stipulations stated in the motion. Mr. Collins, how do you vote?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, Ms. Wingate?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
Okay, Mr. Mears?
Yes, for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion.
And the chair votes yes for the reasons and conditions stated in the motion. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. All right, our next item is a change of zone, conditional use, number 2565, F&N Vasquez Concrete LLC.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend